So, you want to go to the New York Fashion Week, and let me tell you what to do. Actually, I don't need to tell you what to do. But I do actually have some tips for you if you were considering going to New York Fashion Week, or you were finding reasons why to go. There might be a what, there might be a who, but what's the why behind New York City's Fashion Week? Whether it's winter or summer. Here's why. And here's what I took from it too. So now that I got the little character out of the way for you, the whole purpose of this video was not only to give you a recap of my experience at New York Fashion Week, but also sort of like the key takeaways as to what could one do to make the best out of it. And here are some of my experiences. Let's back up a little bit. Besides, talking about the glitz, the glams, the girls, and the guys, of course, I really wanted to give you a little bit of background as to why I went or how I was actually able to go in the first place. I am a minority partner and investor. Minority partner, and sometimes I feel like majority investor. But that aside, it's a whole other discussion for a different video. I work with a brand called Huitzilin Ate Mexicano. It is a brand founded by Alexa Sefcovic Dominguez, and she went on behalf of La Cámara de Joyería de Jalisco, for which I was also able to get a ticket. I went there on behalf of the state of Jalisco for its Chamber of Commerce and representing Mexico, of all places, even though I'm originally from New Jersey, and wanted to make the best out of the question that my own business partner gave me, which is, what's your strategy? What are we going to do to extract the most out of this? And that was a very valid question because she is a designer and she can go and get influence, network with people, check out the new design, the tendencies, even if we weren't presenting on stage. As a spectator, it's still very valuable. But for somebody that is either interested in fashion as an aficionado, do you do it just for content? And if so, what are you going to do besides talk about your experience? So how can we make this benefit a brand, be it personal or be it a small business like mine? So after a little bit of brainstorming with Alexa, we conceived a few benefits that might be beneficial to somebody independently or as a small collective to attend. And one of the number one focuses was building relationships. Yes, you go there to also be seen, maybe get some followers, maybe, get some engagement on your socials, but you're there to engage with actual people, right? You are wearing your brand as well, not just showing how stylish you could be. And going there to take notes. Why take notes? Because I went to Runway 7. And what is Runway 7? Well, Runway 7 is a institution of New York Fashion Week now. They've come up a long way. I think they're only just about 10 years old right now. They're doing very well, and they've geared themselves towards the global designers of brands that are nascent, that are up and coming, that need a platform that maybe are not at the high echelon of New York Fashion Week, right? Because, I'm not sitting next to Gail and Oprah at any New York Fashion Week anytime soon. But these events serve as a great platform to not only bolster the people that are on the runway, but also if you are attending, to have an opportunity to connect with them yourself as well. And also maybe take a little bit of notes as to what the space is like, because if I were to be doing a show at Runway 7 in the future, I might want to do something conceptual with the space that they have. Oh, maybe even make a sale. Duh, obviously, we're there to sell as well. So those three things: connections, notes for maybe when you want to present yourself there, not as an attendee, but as somebody on the runway itself, and hopefully making some sales. Another thing you can do is guest badges. If you know somebody that's going, and again, you're on a tight budget, that is also another approach as well. The only caveat is that obviously guest badges, they don't guarantee you entry. They can probably give you great access to certain parties and soirees and socials, yes. But I also noticed that when it came to certain badges, even if you bought one, I think, the likelihood of you getting into some of the more crowded, big name type things, even among the nascent brands, you weren't guaranteed a spot in there. And the ones earlier in the day, my experience, notoriously late. They were always starting so late. You can tell for a lot of these folks, and I'm not being judgmental, a lot of them were very new to presenting stuff on stages, right? Maybe they're not used to running an actual show. They're great at designing, not so much a show. I guess if there's a silver lining, plenty of time to go get drinks with somebody. But whether you're a guest, whether you're a sponsor, whether you're presenting, the parties is where it's at. Yes, we still rub elbows. It's all diplomacy at parties nowadays, right? You don't just go to have a good time, be seen, and just, put content on your phone. It's there to make connections. Although some of the venues I do question why they were there. One of the venues is actually on a rooftop of a strip club, and I thought that was kind of strange because if you needed to go to coat check, you actually had to go past the strippers on the stage. It's also important to note that this is Alexa, my business partner's first time in New York, so you know what that is. That's not just work, it's a workation. I've been there multiple times. I've even lived in the city. I have family that lives there, and I can't just exclusively see fashion, right? If you're going to go there, obviously go see the other things that make New York great as well. Not just, the Statue of Liberty or some landscape that you can take a photo in front of. There's lots of culture there. Consume that too. And it was even surprising to me. As a designer, Alexa went to the MoMA because, she did study design, so she's going to see something of Andy Warhol, right? But in other respects, the first stop that we had made was the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Believe it or not, there's a lot of jewelry there and a lot of fashion there as well. It's not just mummies, but also the artifacts can in fact be jewelry, what people wore, what were the patterns like then. You can take inspiration from that as well, from Egypt to Mesopotamia to wherever. There's a lot to be gained there as well. That's all feeding into your experience of not just how you engage with other people, but how you engage with that. And a couple unique things that we had done that were not really originally anticipated, but could happen organically. Yeah, we did some little Bohemian gallery exposition for some photographers in Brooklyn. That was pretty neat. We got to do that. That was cool. But I went to something called, and it's funny because I was trying to get in touch with somebody specifically for this trip, and they gave me the ability, I guess through their badge, through their name, to go to something at PwC called AI Impact, Investor and Family Offices Deal Making Summit. That was pretty cool. I did feel a little bit out of place, but it was fascinating to be in the room for something like that. It was an invite-only event, and it was meant for people that have businesses that require funding by family-owned firms that need to make deals with other family-owned firms, and how that integrates with business and AI and general business practices. So I was in a room full of people that were multi-millionaires and doing these kinds of deals. And for me, it was almost like, okay, well, now this is being educational. I get to network, maybe plant some seeds for some future relationships where maybe I can get some funding, which again, was one of the goals that was also very important for this trip. And we more or less might have gotten that. So I'm happy about that. And I think it's also important to note that, yes, I went there specifically for Runway 7, and I should probably talk a little bit about that experience. Well, quick little recap about it. The way Runway 7 is set up, and I imagine most other runways at New York Fashion probably behave similarly, is that they have showings every 2 to 3 hours. And if you have my type of badge, great. You just go every 2 or maybe every 3 to 5 hours, because going to every single one back to back can be, that's a lot. There's, like I said, there's other stuff to do in New York. But the best thing I would recommend for you, and this is something that I had done prior to going, see which ones, if you can, get a preview. Who are the people that are going? See which ones might be more aligned with your brand, that you might see a potential for a partnership, maybe take inspiration from. And in our case, what were the brands that integrate cultural heritage into designs? And so that was sort of like what I zeroed in on. So this is my experience from Runway 7. I had a few things that I thought really stood out to me, and I'll just put up some videos here, sort of like as a B-roll of some of my experience, and maybe the people that I saw and maybe got to say hello with, took a couple of selfies with. But yeah, that's all the fun stuff that happens while you are there. But don't forget, there's still work to be done once you are done with the event in and of itself. But all that boils down to what you do after you've done your networking, you've attended the runways, and all that's concluded. Then it's all about the DMs, the follow-ups. It's not just follow while you're there. Oh, let's maybe do a collaboration. No, it's all about, girl, have that pitch deck ready. Sometimes they might actually ask for it right there. In one case, I actually had to do a 15-second pitch. Yeah, come ready and have it ready and make sure that you have those emails ready for when you gotta send it out on a dime stop. You might notice that I might be posting this a little bit late, and a lot of my footage is from the summer. Well, that's because, I'm not your normal content creator. I'm really sorry. I'm busy. But the algorithm hopefully will support the fact that I am publishing this sometime in February, and maybe that might actually help get a little bit of traction on this channel. So that being said, if you would like to follow a little bit more about my journey, I have other businesses. I also do other types of things as well that are sort of related to business or related to promoting one's own personal brand. So if you're interested in something like that, not just jewelry, well then by all means, give me a like, give me a subscribe, leave a little comment, hate comment, whatever it is. I don't care, girl. Give me engagement. And I'll see you à la prochaine at the next video. Hopefully not 6 months from now. But thanks, y'all. This was Jono signing off. And be sure to follow Week's Journey as well. Have a good one.